Hey humans of the internet, we're live yet again for another episode of guyQLive, directly from AskMen headquarters. Thank you so much for joining us. We love having you. Get your questions and comments and ideas ready. We're answering your guyQ questions almost daily now, right?
Three times a week.
3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mark. With me as ever is Briannah. Hi, Briannah.
Hey.
How are you today?
Great. How are you?
I'm really good. Can I get a guyQLive high five? Just a really quick. Yeah, nice one.
You got me.
Did I get you? Did you back off? I slapped you off the box that you're on. Yeah, just because I've been lifting a bit. I'm getting a little swole. I'm not gonna lie.
Gains, brah.
Yeah,
Gains.
making gains, lifting big, lifting hard, eating tons of protes. Got to get those protes. If you don't know what guyQ is, I haven't been lifting anything. If you don't know what guyQ is, it's AskMen's online Q&A forum where subscribers like you get to go on, you ask any question you want, doesn't matter what it is, if it's sex, dating, fashion, style, fitness, all that stuff, how many painkillers to eat before you chug a whiskey sour, what kind of dress shirt to wear to an underground poker match, what kind of carbs to avoid when you're prepping for a big street brawl, how to style your hair like one of the Golden Girls, all the really important stuff that you need to know.
Really important things in life.
Really, really crucial stuff. Our experts and editors answer any question that you ask. We try to get to you as soon as possible. We're doing it live on Facebook 3 times a week, and the beauty is you can answer any question you want too. So if there's a question you know the answer to, by all means, please jump in and unhinge your brain and then pour your delicious brain sauce over any question you see fit. If you're not familiar with guyQ, that's okay. If you don't know where to find it, that's okay too, because Briannah knows.
We're going to go to the AskMen website, www.askmen.com/answers. And if you're on Facebook, remember to click the live subscribe button so you know every time we're going live, as we are right now.
Right now we're live. Right now we are. Our question today is a simple one. It's pretty much, when do you give up on love or even lust when you can't get a date? We're going to tell you how to lock down a date no matter what. Get your comments, get your questions ready. Take 10 minutes, take 15 minutes, take 5 minutes if that's all you got, and learn something.
Learn a little something.
Get a little learning on. We're pretty excited. We got a very special guest today, Laurel House, a dating coach, flirting expert, author, and all-around beautiful human. It's the 3rd time she's been on the show.
3rd time.
We're so stoked.
3rd time's a charm.
3rd time is a charm. She's so wonderful. She has tons of information, always does. It's going to be great to have her on. Get your questions ready. Questions like, are some people just meant to be alone? Questions like, are you crushing it all day with your unstoppable game? If you're killing it out there, we want to hear about it. Share with your brothers and sisters how your game is so unstoppable. Tell us your dating disaster stories, your best tales of rejection. We want to hear about them. Have you been kicked repeatedly in the heart? And let us know all about that. And ladies, tell us what we men can do better with our game. What are you expecting from us? I mean, you must have tons of tips. I'm sure we'll get to that.
Little tricks of the trade.
Tricks of the trade, things that you actually want from guys. We're going to cover that list in a bit.
Oh, totally.
Things that you actually want from guys. Things that women actually want in a man. We're going to let you know. Today's specific question comes from an anonymous reader who asks, anyone been through multiple rejections and never had a success like me? We're going to get into the subtext. He goes on to say, I'll make this quick. I have in my 20 years gained the courage to approach 3 girls until now. It's not very many. The first was in 8th grade, and she rejected me on the premise of being overweight. The second was in 10th grade, and she rejected me because she was seeing someone while leading me on. Not cool. Just recently, I'm in university, and after multiple signs that even many of my friends agreed she seemed to be interested in me, she rejected me yet again because she's getting married. I wouldn't have approached her if I'd known that. But then she said she's not seeing anyone. It's not cool.
It's
super sketchy, right?
A little bit.
He goes on to say, is there something wrong with me? Or is this one of life's cruel games? I mean, I'm not an asshole or unattractive. I take care of the way I look, dress, talk to people, and this happens. I just feel so rejected by life. It's not great. I mean, I don't know how this fellow looks or if he's, how he dresses or if he's, in fact, but it sounds like a decent fellow. He says, it's not easy dealing with this and honestly need a win in my dating section of life. I feel it's unfair or maybe it's not for me. Should I forget about having a love life? There's no winning and could use people's help, suggestions, or any similar experiences that could make me focus on being happy in general. Again, wow, he says thank you. That's a tough question. It's really, obviously he's having trouble with this.
Yeah, he's struggling a little bit.
He's struggling. He's got to get back on that horse.
But come on, man, 3 times?
3 attempts?
It's not like baseball. You 3 strikes and you're not out. You can come right back into the game. The training wheels aren't even off yet.
This is it. 3 attempts is not a lot of attempts. You got to get out there. You got to try more. 3 is not a lot, good sir. You haven't yet begun to be rejected. I posit for you. I mean, I think there's questions that we need to ask. Anonymous, ask yourself this. Are you motivated to get out there and ask girls out? Like, how badly do you want to date? Because 3 over the course of sounds like 10, 12 years. How many years was it?
It seems like quite a long time.
Grade 8 to like 20 university. How many, what do you,
like
6, 7, 8 years? I don't know.
Yeah, like a fair amount of time, almost a decade.
Almost a decade, let's say. You know, and what are you looking for? Are you looking for long-term love? Are you looking for lust? Something in between? You gotta know what you want. You can't
Are your expectations too high?
Are your expectations too high? You know, that's an important thing. But knowing what you want is important too, because you can't just be out there like a dog chasing cars all the time, not knowing what to do when you get your hands.
You gotta take a couple of shots in the dark, or throw something against the wall and see what sticks, like a pasta.
Absolutely. You know, take some swings or some pasta tosses, and maybe you're getting defeated too soon. Maybe there's a confidence issue happening. Maybe there's depression happening. You know, if you're only asking out 3 girls over the course of 7 years, I'm sensing that maybe there is a confidence or a mood thing happening, attitude, all that plays a massive role. If you are having trouble with confidence, you can maybe talk to a professional to get your self-esteem up. Depression, that definitely affects your self-esteem if that's what you're dealing with. And I'm totally assuming, making assumptions on my end. It just sounds that if you're not asking that many people out, that lack of motivation, I don't know, man. Maybe you need to talk to someone to kind of work on yourself a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with seeking a little help.
Nothing.
Right?
Nothing. You got to. It's 2016, you know? And there's a reason why there are psychologists and psychiatrists, because they're helpful and they can help. Not always, but the same is true for actual doctors, who sometimes do more harm than good. But you know what? It's just a good idea to be able to talk to someone, talk about what you're going through. You don't have to live it alone. But on the subject of being alone, it's okay to roll solo too. Mm-hmm. It's okay to make peace with being, you know,
a loner.
A lone wolf. A lone wolf. Ow! Sorry that I howled. I apologize.
A one-man wolf pack.
A one-man wolf pack.
Yeah.
It's fine. It can be cool. I'm sure you have friends. That said, nil desperandum, folks. Here's a quote that I think is of use. You mentioned baseball earlier. Babe Ruth said, "Every strike brings me closer to the next home run." Every strike brings me closer to the next home run. Babe used to swing for the fences. Look, if you've never been rejected in life, and not just in dating and everything, you're doing it wrong. You got to get out there, man. You got to take some swings. You got to take some chances.
Build
it's
your
so
character.
Important. Build
You'll
your character.
never learn if you don't try, or if you don't fail a few times, right?
So important.
Trial and error. That's why that exists, and you learn from it. You learn your best lessons from, you know, scraping your knees and falling off your bike.
Yeah, or your horse.
Or your. I don't know. You could really fall off anything if you're klutzy like me.
Whatever you're on, you can fall off almost anything that you're on. You could fall off of it. I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure that's how it goes.
No one bats 1,000. To come back to the old baseball metaphor. So get out there and swing those bats. Abraham Lincoln, you may know. This guy lost his fiancée to typhoid. It sucks when the Grim Reaper steals your girl.
Such a ball buster.
It's such a ball buster. When this Grim Reaper just comes in and grabs your lady. Not fun, not cool. He was way into politics, as you may know. He lost his first 2 elections, then had a full nervous breakdown, depression, anxiety, the whole Megillah, lost 6 more elections. Whee! It's fun! Then became the president of the United States and abolished slavery in the U.S., changing history forever. So Abraham Lincoln had his melon screwed on straight, and he kept at it, and he just fucking kept doing it until he changed the world. What I'm saying is, never give up, and also beard respect to Abraham Lincoln. You just gotta keep at it. Now, granted, Abraham Lincoln did take one in the back of the skull while he was watching a play, but I mean, that's not his fault.
It might not happen to everybody.
It doesn't happen to everyone.
Some people, but hopefully not you.
But between the time where he got plugged and before that, he did a lot of really cool stuff. So, don't give up. Do not give up.
He lived a hell of a life.
I feel like
he put himself out there.
He really put himself out there.
Yeah.
He really did. He did a lot of cool stuff. I feel like we're talking a lot about victory and like success, and I feel like we need to do like a victorious freeze frame.
Okay.
Sort of like a stop action freeze frame. So just like, we did it! Or just one more. Should we do a jump?
No, X though.
Okay.
I can't jump.
We did it! How bad is it? Is it bad? Am I still a little red? Does it smell like we just opened a bag of salt and vinegar chips? Maybe. It's summer. What are you gonna do? I try to keep clean. I actually did forget to put deodorant on today. I'm sorry. I apologize if you can smell me through the interwebs. But you know what? Let's give you some concrete advice, gentlemen. So here are the top 10 qualities that women actually look for in a man. It's taken from an actual AskMen article. We're going to drop that into the reference section for you, the comment section rather, as reference. So you can at least work on yourself. If you're not out there killing it with the ladies right now, we're going to give you some tips so you can actually get some information, some knowledge.
So we're going to start off at number 10, which is passion. Be passionate about anything, whether it be your job, your friends, your pets, your lover, anything.
Get excited about stuff. That's what passion's about, and not just about the stuff outside of your relationship. Like if you're with someone, if you're with a lady, if you do meet a lady, be passionate about her too. Be romantic. But until you meet that lady, like Bree says, get excited about stuff. Women like a guy who's sort of excited and into stuff, and like if you like otters and learn about otters and get into otters and take care of otters and donate to an otter charity, she's gonna dig that. Guys really into otters.
Dig it.
Really passionate about otters, which are some of the best
otters
animals.
are pretty much
they're
foolproof.
fucking awesome.
Fucking foolproof.
Let's be honest. Who doesn't love a good otter? Maybe they can roll some otter footage while we're talking about that.
Do you know they link arms so that they don't drift away while they're sleeping?
It's adorbsies.
So adorable.
Adorbsies.
You and your otter.
You and your otter. You guys can link arms when you find that otter, and so you don't drift away while you're sleeping. Number 9 is confidence. Confidence. Believe in yourself. Believe in what you're bringing to the table. Know what your worth is.
Own who you are.
Know what your worth is.
Yeah.
Just show up. And we're not talking about being cocky or shitty or like just being like douchey or like
super fine line.
Yeah.
Super fine line. Learn how to walk it like a tightrope, and own it.
Yeah.
Just own it.
Own it.
It's cool.
Come in there and be like, hey, I'm Thomas, or I'm McGillicuddy. Whatever your name is. I don't know what your name is.
McGillicuddy.
It doesn't matter. Just get in there and just as much as it's a pleasure for you to meet other people, assume that it's pleasant for them to meet you as well.
Yeah.
And not in a cocky way, not in an arrogant way, but you're a human who has value and worth. Know that.
Okay, number 8 is loyalty. Be loyal. It's pretty simple. No one likes someone who's not loyal. What's the point of being in a relationship if you're not going to be loyal to the person that you're with?
Yeah. No one likes a shady character.
And we're not even just talking about infidelity here.
No.
We're talking also about being loyal and keeping what, stays between you secret.
Yeah.
And respect that other person. Be loyal to them. Prioritize them.
Have their back to some extent.
Totally.
You know what I mean? As you say, not just with romantic stuff, because there's lots of couples that work well that are in open relationships. They have their primary partner, and then they can, but unless you've had that conversation, don't be straying outside the relationship. But even outside of the sphere of sex, keep in mind that just like keeping someone's secret, or knowing they're having a tough time at work, and being there for them with regards to that, which kind of brings us to number 7, which is dependability.
Yeah.
Which is essentially just
super important. It kind of ties into that.
Absolutely. You gotta be the type of man that a woman can depend on. Does she know that she can count on you? Are you a responsible guy? She's like, that guy, I can count on that guy. That guy is not gonna let me down. That guy shows up and he gets the job done, regardless of what the job is. If he says he's gonna be somewhere, he's there.
He's there.
He's there.
Yeah, and he's happy to be there. Okay, number 6, we have mystery. Keep a little je ne sais quoi in the relationship.
Yeah,
as we say. The X factor.
At first, keep your cards a little close to your chest. Don't put everything on the table. We're not there yet.
Not 52 pickup guys.
We're not there yet. It's not show and tell with everything just yet. You want to kind of keep a little mystery, have your own life, have your own friends, do your own thing. You don't have to share everything. No one.
Nothing's worse than an overshare.
Overshare, not ideal.
Not cool.
So keep a little mystery. Keep it kind of. You're your own human. You're exciting, and women kind of like, well, what's his story? Yeah. You want to create the old, I wonder what his story is.
I wonder what's going up in that little.
What's going on in that melon? What's going on in that melon?
That melon.
Number 5, generosity. Generosity, and I don't just mean showering your lady or prospective partner with gifts like, hey, I bought you flowers, or hey, I bought you chocolate, but just...
It's nice, but...
Yeah, it's nice, but are you thoughtful? Do you want to give to other people? Do you want to help others? Are you a giving person? Are you kind of a taker, or are you a giver? Because there is a difference, and there are typically 2 types of people, and they're givers and takers, and if you're kind of a more giving type of person, that broadcasts, and it's an attractive, sexy quality. If women see that, like this guy, he takes care of other people, he takes care of the people that are close to him, even people that he doesn't know. You know what I mean? If you're, maybe helping out at the homeless shelter, or if you're helping a lost puppy find his way home. I don't know, maybe. All right, who knows? Who knows? Helping
and
up.
be generous with your time as well.
A pigeon with a broken wing.
Yeah, but time is one of the most is the most valuable thing that you could give to a person, because that's something that you will never be able to recuperate.
It is our most precious resource. It's not money. Oh no, sir. It is not money.
It's time.
Time.
Taum.
What's the next guy?
Kindness.
Kindness.
Plain and simple. Just be a kind human.
Be a good guy.
Be a nice person.
Be a nice person. Be a good guy. You know, we say this a lot. Don't be an
Try
asshole.
your best.
Don't be an asshole.
Karma is a real thing.
I think that karma might be a real thing.
It is a real thing.
You know, be good. The third one is a bit weird, but you know what? We're going to offer it up anyway. Be dad material. I know that sounds a bit funny, and we're not necessarily talking about, you know, be ready to have kids right away. That's not what we're saying. Are you a nurturer? Are you the type of person who's going to take time?
Are you, like potential dad?
Are you a potential dad? Like down the line, if the relationship is going well, you know, a woman wants to see you could be that kind of nurturing, caregiving, loving type of individual. So do you have a sort of parental vibe? Do you take your nephew to his softball game? You know, do you drop your nieces off at dance class or vice versa? Do you drop your nephew off at dance class, take your nieces to their softball game because why the hell not? It's 2016, okay? Don't be so judgmental. You know, that's an important thing. Do you have that in you where you want to take care of smaller, younger, more helpless creatures like animals, plants, and insects and children as well, and children as well? Food for thought.
Yeah. Number 2, be interesting and be interested in sharing.
Yeah, I think that one is sort of be a teacher, you know what I mean? Sort of be interested in sharing. If you're passionate with something, if you have a hobby like, I don't know, golf, for instance, or you like, a dirt bike racing, or you're into fixing up motorcycles, share that.
Exactly, and not in a condescending way.
No.
Because it's also easy to be very condescending when you're teaching something, but you know what?
Yeah.
If it's an activity that you do enjoy or a story that you want to share, it's nice to, share that with your partner and be interested. If they want to share something with you, take an interest, make an effort.
Yes.
That's what they want to see.
You know, if it's something that's important in your life, don't be like, oh, babe, you won't get it. Yeah, you just won't get it.
Well, you had to be there.
Yeah,
you just had to be there.
You understand how a motorcycle's put together, babe. I can't explain. You know what? Take some time and explain things that you're passionate about. Share yourself with another person the same way that they might want to share themselves with you. And that's that exchange that we're talking about. That nice
you closer.
Exchange. And the last one, it's a pretty important one. It comes up a lot in lists of things that women look for in a man, and that is humor. Comedy, being funny. And now when I say that, you just have to have a sense of humor. Don't be too serious. You want to be a fun person.
Yeah, you don't want every second thing out of someone's mouth to be offensive, and you're just so offended by everything, and you're
if you're permanent
uber one-sided, or either end of the spectrum is not good. You got to be somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle. You can't.
You got to go the motion of the ocean a little bit.
Yeah, you can't be permanent
so
offended.
Awkward, this move.
You can't be. It's a nice one. It's a nice dance move. You can't. No one likes Johnny Stodgy. Don't be Johnny Stodgy. Don't be all bent out of shape. And you got to be able to laugh at yourself, especially at yourself. Life is way too short to take too many things too seriously. Make sure you're working on your giggle muscle. As I was saying, so definitely work on your giggle muscle if you can. But you know what? You don't have to take our word for it. We're just two people on the internet. We don't have that many credentials. I do have a smashing denim jacket and a lovely beard.
You have a lot of badges here too.
I have a lot of badges. I've earned every one. Every one.
Every single.
I haven't earned a single one. I stole this off a dead hobo. I didn't. Let's bring her on right now. Her name is Laurel House. She is an author. She's a flirting expert. She is a dating coach. She's going to be on a new show on the E! Network. We've had her on the show before. We love her. Laurel, please, are you with us? Say hello.
I'm here.
Hi. Thank you so much for joining us again.
All the way from sunny LA.
Where there are lots of hot men and women.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
I don't doubt it for a moment.
Don't doubt it for a second.
How are you today?
I'm fantastic. I'm enjoying the weather, and I've been out at the beach this morning looking at everyone, so it's a good day.
Amazing.
Oh, people watching. Get the summer started.
You look lovely. Your eyes match the wall that's behind you. The blue is popping. It's wonderful.
Thank you.
So listen, you heard the question. This guy's tried all of 3 times and has given up. So obviously he needs to try a little harder. But what about someone who's been at it for years or decades? Do you give up? You know?
Okay, so first of all, before I answer that, let me just add, I was listening to the questions that you were posing, Mark, to him
Right.
are you depressed? Are there other things going on? One of the things that you missed is, are you setting yourself up for failure? He keeps going after these girls who are not available. Why? Are you afraid to actually go after someone who is available? Because that, if you're rejected, would be a true rejection, as opposed to someone who's already engaged or has a boyfriend or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's your feet. Yeah, your feet is cutting a little bit, but we got the gist of what you're saying.
That's something that better now.
Is it better now? It got a little sloppy. The feed got cut. But yeah. So what you're saying is he actively setting himself up to go after these unattainable women, so that the fallout isn't as bad because she was kind of taken anyway.
Yeah. There's always a crutch to fall back on.
Exactly. And here's the other thing: is he actually falling for people who he knows, or is he falling for the idea of someone? If he doesn't know that someone is engaged or has a boyfriend, then he doesn't really know who these women are.
Right.
He hasn't pre-qualified them. He hasn't asked them the necessary questions to get to know them well enough.
Okay. Fair enough. So I want to get into, if we can, with you, one, if confidence is his issue, can we get that up? And then get into the real work, which is sort of actually asking out someone. Concrete tips there. What are they? So let's handle both of those. So confidence and asking someone out.
So here's the thing. I actually deal with this type of situation every single day with my dating coaching. I actually had a guy this morning who felt like I'm undateable. I'm always rejected. And when we started digging in, yes, confidence was definitely one of the elements. One of the bigger elements, though, was that he wasn't the man. He was, they're flirting with me. Well, she obviously likes me. She's leading me on. She likes me. And he never stepped up and said, hey, I'd love to take you out. And that's a huge problem. Get some balls, guys. I mean, women are attracted to men who are men. I'm not saying guys. I'm just saying a guy, because the three things, in addition to that list of 10, which were good, but the three things that women really want in a relationship is to feel safe, sexy, and seen. So are you making her feel safe? Are you making her feel sexy by taking charge, by saying, I want to take you out? I'd love to I'd like to take you to dinner. And not just do hey, we should hang out. Hang out is what friends do. Hang out will put you in the friend zone. Right. So you need to first be able to do that. So who are you? You're a guy. You're an interesting guy. You have all of these aspirations and passions and successes in other areas of your life. Own that. Have confidence around that. Right. Just because you haven't had success with women doesn't mean that you are not a successful, interesting, layered, dynamic guy who women are going to want. Own that and be confident in who you are, then present that.
Okay, and make a real request. Say, let's go have a drink. I would like to go have a drink with you. Take initiative.
Yeah, take initiative. It's just the worst thing that they can say is, I have a boyfriend, or, no, fine. Yeah. Take the chance. Because is it baseball, or it's some sport where they say that every shot you don't take, you miss.
Hey,
right.
Well, take a goddamn shot.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And you know what? If anything, from a guy's perspective, the girl's going to say, no matter what, she's going to be flattered. You know what I mean? She's not thinking, oh, what a weirdo. Unless you're being a creepy. She's not going to be like, a creeper. Unless you're being a creepy crawler. Anyway.
And she might not view you as someone who has dating or relationship potential until you do go up to her and you show her that you do. And you ask her out. And then all of a sudden she's like, I never viewed him in that light, but now that he asked me out in that way, I'm kind of interested. You can change her mind.
Of course. Act like you're worth a damn. Act like you're worth a damn.
Yes, everyone. Men too, right? Guys want to feel like they are dating the head of the cheerleading team, like they won the prize.
Sure.
So do women. We want to be proud of our man. So if you're like squirmy and do you want to hang out? I'm not going to be proud of you.
Yeah.
She wants to be proud of you. Own who you are and show her that you are worthy.
I'm just having flashbacks. I don't know if you guys watch Rick and Morty episode between the couple on Rick and Morty, where they go to this intergalactic marriage counselor and they project their perception of what they see the other as. And in this example, the projection of the husband in the show, he sees his wife as like this giant, like dominating alien type kill machine, and then she sees him as this sort of like amorphous mass of like he's just like a slug. He's like, I don't want to do anything, and it's like that's kind of, I keep seeing that image. So yeah, it's not it's not a good look. You know what I mean? You don't want to be an invertebrate, not sexy for the most part.
Yeah.
Interesting. Guys might often say though, and we're talking back to. They'll say like, well, girls just aren't that into me. You know, I'm just not the kind of guy that girls are drawn to.
That girls are into.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I'm not handsome, I'm not funny, I'm not cool. I'm just kind of like, but I don't know. How important are looks really? We're talking a lot about confidence, but is there, obviously yes, there's a physical component, but is there a hierarchy of like, well, if you're not good looking, give up? I think that's bullshit. I know there's tons of guys out there who aren't the best looking guys in the world who have tremendous kind of like attraction and sex appeal.
It's total bullshit. I mean, even just aside, let me take my dating coach hat off and just be a person.
Yeah.
If you look at the guys who I've dated, some of them are, I mean, honestly, really physically unattractive.
Just straight up.
Truth great bomb. Guys, obviously great guys, and there was something else that I found sexy about them. So what else can be sexy about a guy? Well, can a woman respect you, admire you, be inspired by you? Does she feel really sexy around you? Does she love your confidence? Does she love your personality? Is she attracted to your humor? Is she attracted to your presence? You know, a guy who walks into a room and owns it, and he knows that he is the most powerful, successful guy, even if he's not, in the room, that's attractive. So yeah, some women, it's just about looks. But the reality is, at the end of the day, looks don't matter. I always say screw tall, dark, and handsome. And I don't mean literally screw tall, dark, and handsome. I mean screw them. Yeah. You know, it's not just about the look. It's about what you bring to the table. If you aren't a good-looking guy, then you're going to have to bring something else to the table. But the reality is, even if you are model perfect, you're not going to be hot to every single girl. Some women want tall, dark, and handsome. Some want short, blonde, and freckly. Some want, all sorts of different things. Some want a big, full beard and a ponytail, and that's the sexiest possible thing.
A handful,
so don't just say, I'm not that, therefore I'm hot.
Yeah. Three to five women have enjoyed this look in my life. So you're saying that, attitude, is motivation also a thing? Like, how motivated are you? Sometimes, I read this guy's question. I was sort of like, I kind of feel like he's not trying. Like, do you really want a girl?
He doesn't seem that motivated.
Is he trying? You know what I mean? Like 3 attempts.
He's not trying.
No,
he's absolutely not trying. I mean, think about like if you are starving and you need to get a job, are you going to go out and you have zero experience?
Right.
Zero. So you're trying to go out and you're applying for jobs. You've applied for 3 jobs, all of which you have zero experience around, and you don't get any. Are you like, well, I guess I'll just starve and die?
Right.
No.
You don't give
You're
up.
going to get some experience. You're going to figure it out, and you're going to go out there and try and try and try again.
Yeah.
You're going to get out there, and you're going to get a job at Subway making a sandwich like the true sandwich artist that you are, and you're going to fucking like it.
Exactly. You're going to figure it out, and you're going to learn from every single girl who you date. You're going to learn something, and it will help you to step up until you're at a place where you really do feel confident. I mean, I have guys who come to me who are in their 30s and 40s, and they're virgins. And they have zero dating experience, and they've always been rejected.
Brianna's face when you said 30, 40, virgin, like her jaw, like a cartoon character, dropped. And
No, but it is actually pretty common.
It's common, and
it doesn't mean that you're undateable. Even if you're a virgin, even if you're fat, even if you're ugly, even if you're poor, even if you're not successful, you are dateable.
Guys, are you listening? It doesn't matter.
You are dateable.
You know, and we're not making light. We kind of laugh a little bit. If you're 30, 40, still a virgin, yeah, it's kind of a source of a bit of humor. You know, we're poking light fun. I mean, a movie was made about this, The 40-Year-Old Virgin. It's with Steve Carell. If you haven't seen it, it's hilarious. Please go and download that. It's very, very funny. But yeah, I mean, there are guys out there, and I'm sure women too, who are trying to find that first little bit of romance. You know what I mean? So, there's a lot of factors involved. You know, what do you bring to the table other than just your physical appearance? Intelligence, humor, confidence, all that. Kindness. Are you a good person? Do people, want to hang out with you? Are you a grumpy
curiosity, life experience? Sure. Have you traveled the world? Do you know a lot about wine? Do you know a lot about animals? Do you volunteer? I mean, look at the elements in your life and use those as your resume builders.
So given all of that, given like how thinking about what you bring to the table, thinking about what you can offer someone, getting down to it, where you're like, okay, I like this person. We talk, or we have some kind of relationship, or we're in close proximity enough where I can ask the person out. What do you do? How do you ask out someone? Is there a foolproof way to say like, hey, would you like to have drinks with me sometime, or do you just just do it?
Yeah, I mean, you could just say, you know what, I would love to take you out to dinner. It shouldn't be hey, we should go and grab some drinks, because that's too casual. And then she doesn't know, is this a date? Is this a hangout? Like, what is this? I would love to take you out for a drink. I would love to take you out to dinner. It needs to be take you out. Because one of the things that's really been sad about dating, particularly because of app and online dating, is the lack of chivalry and the lack of gender roles. Those are things that are actually really exciting in dating. And despite the fact that, yes, women can do it all, and we do it all, we still want a guy to be chivalrous. So I'd like to take you out. That feels sexy. Sure. I'd love to there's this great little place that I found. I think you'd really like it, because you mentioned that you like this type of a wine bar, and this place just fits that mold. I'd love to take you there.
Right.
Because then that also shows, you listen. You were listening to what I like. You paid attention, and now you're catering a date to my personality and my preferences.
Right, for sure. And I mean, you mentioned chivalry, and chivalry is just a form of etiquette. I mean, and that goes for men and for women. You know what I mean? That, like, I think that we appreciate basic politeness. You know what I mean? Yes,
Yes.
I like it when someone jokes around. They're able to kind of like push the envelope with sort of like raunchy humor here and there. I find that funny. I think it's fun. I mean, you don't want to toss those out necessarily in the first date.
Yeah,
but that's aside. That's sort of a humor thing. But aside from that, you do want someone who's able to, bring the class, bring some classiness to the table. That's attractive. Yes. You know what I mean?
And that also differentiates you as someone who is a date and relationship potential from someone who is just fun.
Sure.
And that's a really big difference. You need to be very aware of what your dating purpose is. Are you dating for the purpose of fun, self-exploration, or to be in a committed monogamous relationship? Each one is a very different purpose, and people date differently there's a different style based on each purpose. So the problem is, you might be serious. You might want a relationship, but you're dating in the style of fun. Hey, let's go hang out. Let's go grab a couple drinks. That's a fun style dating. You need to shift your style to be relationship style dating.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. We actually had some questions come in before we started rolling today. Peter asks, if you've been dumped or rejected a bunch of times, is there something inside you that's unconsciously stopping you maybe, and is that affecting your approach? It's kind of come back to like confidence again, where like if you've been like knocked down a few times or just rejected, at a certain point you're just like, well, man, like no one's going to say yes. So how do you get past that? Like if that is what's happening?
Yeah, I mean, that is a problem. What's happening here is that you are gaining and collecting evidence that you are not dateable, that someone is going to reject you. So you're collecting all of this I am rejected evidence, when what you need to do is look at the other areas of your life where you're not being rejected. Right. Look at the areas in your life where you have success, and then apply that attitude to your dating. Because if you go to a date or you go talk to a girl with the attitude of, oh, you're going to reject me anyway. You're absolutely right. She'll reject you.
Yep.
You need to change your attitude, and then you will change your outcome.
It's interesting, and it's a good point, and I kind of want to just kind of give the people at home, if you're creatives out there, if you're writers or artists or actors, you understand a lot about what rejection feels like because, you submit manuscripts, you sent out novels,
you went to an audition.
You audition for stuff, and you just get no all the time. And there's a great story, Stephen King, when he was a young writer, I think he was living in a trailer, and he had no money, and he would keep all his he would send out his stuff to publishing houses, and he would keep all the stacks of rejection letters on a spike on his wall until they were about, I don't know how thick. And then eventually, he wrote a little something called Carrie, which he was like, oh, you know what, it's probably garbage. He threw that out. His wife found it in the garbage. Uncrumpled, she says, you know what, you have something here. And what he had was probably one of the biggest writing careers of all time. So just because 1,000 people said no, maybe one person will say yes, and then that'll kind of trigger that, like, you know what, yeah, I am desirable. I am, a decent person. So you are desirable, you are lovable, there are things about you that people are going to like and appreciate, and remember that you do have worth and value. And it's sounding very all lovey and touchy-feely, but it's true. Like, it really is, as much as it's cliched.
There really is someone out there for everyone.
Yeah, I think so. I think you'd find someone. I wanted to ask a few more questions.
There absolutely is. And so what you need to start doing is looking at the areas where, yes, you had all these rejections. So instead of allowing them to pile down on you, think about, I call them bummers with benefits. What is the lesson that you can extract from that rejection so that you can be better next time? Maybe she didn't like when I said that nasty joke. Okay, well, next time I'm going to wait a little bit. Or maybe she didn't like when I suddenly became insecure. Or maybe, ask the girls for feedback. Don't be afraid to take notes. I know you dumped me. I think you're a great girl. I get that we're not a match. I'm just wondering, honestly, as a friend, what was it that made you not like me? And it's hard to hear that feedback, but believe me, it is powerful. I've done it myself. I've had a ton of rejections in the past, and I started gathering feedback. I mean, it's everything from dating to sex. I was told by a boyfriend that I gave the worst head possible.
Wow.
So I started practicing and talking to guys. So what can I do better? What can I do? How can I give better head? And all of a sudden I was collecting notes and learning how to be good based on questioning other people. And that's what you have to do. You have to remove your ego and just allow yourself to take it, put your student hat on and take it as, how can I be better?
I'm just curious. I just want to get a little more context about the whole thing about the head thing. Was that unsolicited? Like, by the way, Laurel, you give the worst head I've ever had in my life. Can you pass the steak?
Totally. Yeah, the guy broke up with me, and then he said, and by the way, you gave me the worst head I've ever had. And it was like, holy shit. Like, thanks a lot, buddy. So I immediately went to the drawing board. Okay, how can I be better? Because I do not want to be the girl who gives the worst head.
Not a great title.
So I started reading books. I started talking to experts. I did my homework. Instead of allowing that to make me never want to give head again, which I don't know if that would have been the worst thing, but instead of doing that, I decided to do my research and study and become an expert.
Well, the point is, the point is, get information. Go get that difficult to hear information. It may become, a learning curve that might be tough to stomach at first.
Yeah, don't be afraid of it.
You'll take a hit, but then you can actually grow on that. So, all fail. It's that tried and true thing. A failure is just an opportunity to grow. That really is what it comes down to. So, ask people why things aren't working.
Even on our top 10 list, so like being an asker and a learner, it's very important.
Yeah, learn.
Learn a little something. Might make you a better person.
There was another interesting question. I don't know if you want to ask it. It's this one.
All right, yeah. So Matt asks, is paying for sex the first time maybe a good way to boost your confidence?
It's interesting. I guess maybe from a younger viewer who sort of says, well, maybe I haven't had much luck. Should I just kind of get a professional lady person to help me out with this, and then that'll give me the boost? I don't know. What do you think?
No. And the reason is absolutely not. And I know that a lot of guys do that because they don't want to carry on that weight and the burden of I'm a virgin, and because there's a lot of, for some reason, shame associated, which there shouldn't be, because as I said, there are a ton of virgins Don't be ashamed of it. But it's similar to porn, where then your expectation is sex is like this when it's not. Okay? Oftentimes, sex isn't acrobatic. Sex isn't, some crazy ass thing where the chick looks so sexy all the time. It's not. Oftentimes, sex is really simple. It's missionary, maybe a little doggy style, like maybe she's on top on occasion, but it's very, very simple. So you don't want to have this expectation in mind that it's this insane dance, because it's not. Instead, you can have sex with a girl for the first time and just don't tell her you're a virgin. You don't have to reveal that to her. Go on a couple of dates. I've actually had clients, both male and female, do this where they come to me as virgins. They start dating someone. They go on a couple of dates. They know that this relationship isn't going anywhere, and they just want to lose their virginity. So they have sex, and then it's over. The guy or girl never knew that they were a virgin, and that's it.
Nice.
It doesn't matter.
There you go. Done and done. Very interesting.
That's if you want to lose it. It's if it really doesn't matter. It's if the person who you lose it to, no big deal. You don't know why you're holding on to it anymore. Right. Then it's fine.
Interesting. There was that interesting movie. I know that people, the movie The Sessions with Helen Hunt, I believe, and she essentially was a sex worker that worked with disabled people. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of an interesting, in that context, I think it's actually a pretty interesting, option if you are someone who's, let's say, disabled, or you're in that kind of realm. It's a whole other bag of tricks. So maybe that's interesting.
Totally different, though. Yeah. That's not a prostitute. That's someone who's actually doing a job. I met a woman recently at an event that I was speaking at. I was actually speaking at the Hollywood Improv, and one of the women in the audience teaches men how to give themselves hand jobs. How to masturbate.
Okay.
And for guys who just for some reason don't know how to masturbate, and she teaches them how to do it. I know women who go to experts who teach them how to orgasm, and they do it for them.
Right.
So it is a science. It is an education. It is not about being slutty or prostitution or anything like that.
Sure. I mean, sex work there's a noble side to sex work. It has its own value. I'm just curious, with the instance with the lady you're speaking about who was teaching guys to masturbate. I mean, and I'm not trying to be funny, but were they special needs guys? Because I just think it's so automatic. You kind of just figure out, like, oh, that feels good, and then you're just kind of like off to the races a little bit. I don't know.
No, it was just normal guys who want to learn different techniques, who might have a hard time. Sometimes guys just have never really had a good orgasm or don't know how to get themselves there because they have insecurities, they have body image issues. I mean, there's various different reasons why it happens.
Right.
So guys hire her.
Interesting. Very, very interesting.
Very interesting.
Do you have any other questions or thoughts that you want to bring to the table?
I don't know. It's been very, very informative. You've touched all the bases.
Always, always. Laurel, thank you so much for your time yet again.
Yeah.
We love having you
You're
on.
welcome. It's always fun.
I can't wait to have you on again. I'm sure we'll have tons of questions down the line where you can please, share your wealth of knowledge with us. So my thanks again to Laurel and, of course, to the Internet. Hi, Internet. Thanks once again for watching. If you're looking for the reference article that we talked about in today's guyQLive, it will be in the comments section. Have a look at it. I wish you a good day. Bree, anything else to add?
I think that's pretty much it.
That's it. Guys, thanks for joining us.
Thanks
Bye.
for joining us.
See you next week. Have a good weekend.